Speak up a little bit because I can hardly hear you.
Okay, well, I wasn't talking. That might be why. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me?
Think louder. Yes, I
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me now?
I hear
Okay,
you, but
good.
you're coming in weak.
Well, I don't know what to do about that.
Turn the volume up.
Maureen, I hear you all right when you're talking.
Okay. George,
George,
turn
you're
on
loud
your
and clear and Tom, you're good. Why don't we get rock and rolling here?
I'll turn my
Go
hearing
ahead,
aids up a
George.
little bit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, George, turn your hearing batteries up. Okay. All right. So, you called it to order? Yes? Is that right? Hello? Anthony, you're calling the meeting to order?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I think it's just the four of us for now. Might be some trickle in.
Okay. I have a correction to make to the minutes. Are we there?
What?
Are we at the minutes?
I got the minutes.
Yep,
Okay.
go for it, Maureen.
All right. There's a correction to the minutes. The sustainable Old Lyme officers are Holly as chair and Cheryl as vice chair. And I
Okay.
reported it in the opposite way. Okay. So I'll change that for I'll report that as a minute. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
That's good.
So,
I accept
George,
that.
George, you're not at the polls tonight. Not enough going on?
I was at the polls at 12:30 talking to Tim Griswold.
Okay. Well, that's good. The television is reporting that there are plenty of voters, but not all of them happening today. So it could be the absentee ballot making the difference.
Tim said this morning at 8 o'clock there was a healthy line. So a lot of people showed
Well,
up early.
I have a friend that went at 6:30 and they had to wait for 30 minutes to get in.
Well, I went at 12:30 and I just walked in, did my thing, and walked out. It was done in 15 minutes.
Well, that was at 6:30 this morning that there was a line.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people going to work, I guess. Us retired folks can afford to go later.
Yeah, you can have a leisurely lunch first. Okay, where are we? POCD, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony, I think this is to settle on your shoulders because George James has said at each meeting, he'll get to it, he'll get to it, he'll get to it. So it's time for a nudge because I am submitting my portion, which was to be the Sustainable Old Lyme Committee, blah, 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 which should be built into the Plan of Conservation and Development. But it's due. I mean, it's coming due. And FYI, I am not going to be here to wrap it up or to edit or anything else. So, Anthony, a nice phone call from you to find out. I don't know what, maybe something's going on in his household. I'm not sure.
With Gary?
I have to, well, George James.
George James, rather.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so this was on my shoulders earlier on, and then it came off my shoulders. It went on to George's shoulders, and Tom's input last week. I mean, or last month rather? I mean, how much of this? It seems like this is the planning commission, and they don't really have any impetus to drive this. I mean, we've written our part. We have our part, right? Where do we go with it?
No, we don't have our part. We do not have our part. That's my point. We do not have our part ready. We have not submitted it, and it has not been written.
So, okay,
Is
so
our part anything other than the Sustainable Connecticut?
Well, it could be. You know, we've taken a new. It's not Sustainable Connecticut now. It's Sustainable Old Lyme.
well,
And
first, I think I know I'm going on a tangent here, but it appears we received our credentials for Sustainable CT. I saw the emails from Sustainable CT and the Selectman's office.
right.
So I just want to say, first of all, I think we started off jumping right in, but I think there's some, accolades to be raised for that, and props to Maureen, obviously, for really pushing it along.
I accept. Thank you.
Good.
Well, it's a
Okay.
whole group. And,
Well,
and
George is-
actually,
I know
We
George
really
is home,
here
so you can give him a
representing-
call.
I don't know what you said.
I said George is at home, so you can give him a call.
That's what I'm suggesting that Anthony do.
Okay, I'll call him. Sure.
Yeah, because we're running out of time, and you've only got me if you want me to do anything or write anything for another couple of weeks.
What's your schedule? Where are you?
Me? Well, I'm home right now, but I'm not going to be
You're
in
leaving.
December. In December, I'm going to be away.
I didn't know that. So, all right,
Of
and
course
this is
not.
due
I
like
didn't
December.
tell you. I'm
Did you
going to
email?
be away for the whole month. I'll be here for the meeting, and then a couple of days later, I am gone. So,
Okay, well, I'm having a baby in early December, so I'm pretty much going to be gone.
Hey, you don't look pregnant to me.
So George,
Okay.
help yourself. You want to call George?
George, you're vice chairman. You're next in line.
I mean, I'll do what I can, but I'll be around, but you know what I mean.
Well, George has said that he would write it, but I really, really, really want the piece to include sustainable Old Lyme information. I mean, it really, everything hinges on that as far as I'm concerned.
How
So,
about I
you
call
know-
George? How about I call George and then have him call you?
No, don't have him call me. I
Oh,
don't want to
liaison.
talk to him. No
Huh?
offense to George, but I've reminded him at each meeting, and he wasn't happy to be reminded. So, I mean, I love George, but somebody else has to step in.
I'll call him.
Okay. I think the best thing you could do is ask for a draft, and I will send him my part of it to include. And I'm happy to edit. I'm happy to, look at it. Tom, you're a writer. You can do some of that. If we want any attention at all for this committee, we should make an effort to be in the plan of conservation and development for the next 10 years. That's the point, 10 years. So you'll have to shoulder, you'll have to be the carriers without me at this point.
I'll do the
submit my
best I
piece.
can.
Okay, got it in a minute. It's in writing. All right. So let's see. George is going to call George. Got it. Okay. Okay, so, there's some really good stuff to put in there. A minute. Because of getting that bronze level, that really, and we got a lot of accolades for that, including there are parts of our application that are shareable, in other words, that would help other towns, other municipalities. So, if nothing else, that's going to make Tim very happy. And Tuesday of next week, in only a week, that Sustainable Old Lyme group is going to meet in order to plan. So there may be some other bits of information that could go in the. Well, we don't need to be specific about plans. We need to say, in general, that it's going to be a big part of the priorities and how we carry out and how we interact with other groups. but I think it needs to be in there. I don't care what the, what's his name says. If we don't submit it, of course it's not going to be in. So, Tom, are you discouraging doing something about this?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Not the sustainable business. So I think
Yeah.
that's something Harold might take up and might put in. It's a new thing that we want to maintain our status, and there's all those accolades about the town. I could see him including that in, but as for the rest of our activities, he's never shown much interest. So to me, that's a new thing that is worth submitting to him, and maybe they include it.
well, okay, so that's already written. What you want me to do with it, I don't know. I don't think it's ready to be submitted as the report, but Tom, if you want, I'll send it to you.
Yep,
Look it over.
send it on, and ultimately, you know, I don't know, Tony, if you want to submit it to the Planning Commission for inclusion in their plan of conservation development, I think that would kind of be it from us. I don't see them
that would,
I don't see them including stuff about our Haynes Park efforts or any. I just don't see them doing that.
no. Yeah, we don't want to be specific because it's going to cover 10 years.
Right.
Yeah,
But if
just
there is a
like
mention that we've got these accolades and we want to continue along this path, and that we could even get a higher level status and I think that's all stuff that they would. Why wouldn't they put that in? It
Okay.
looks good. It looks good for them.
I'll polish my part and then I'll send it to you to look it over and make any changes you want.
Sure. I don't know too much about it, so it's more a proof from me, but because
Okay,
I
well.
unfortunately kind of missed all the heavy lifting on that.
I know, lucky you. Well, you know, the thing is that Sustainable Old Lyme is a separate committee. It's not part of the Conservation Commission. It's part
Right.
of the hub of the wheel that unites town committees and commissions
Right.
and any activities. And so
Well,
it's a good
if that's the case, we might do a little more than let them know that they ought to submit to planning. I mean, you're
Yeah.
capable of writing it up because you're familiar with it, and maybe they won't do it, but one way or another, it'd be nice to have it in there.
Yeah,
I think we
okay, well, I'll look
liaisoned
at
it.
it from that. What's that?
I was gonna say, I think we liaisoned it really, you know, we spearheaded this program. So, I mean, you know, just from what I've read of the conservation, the POCD from the past, from 10 years ago or whenever it was last written, 2012 or 10.
10 years ago, right?
I mean, I can't imagine there's more than like, what, 3 sentences about it. It's not going, there's not that much detail about it.
Right.
I mean, it's a blurb, it's a statement, our involvement and our you know, our silver level that we're at, and that we plan to, you know, expand the program or something, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Okay.
pretty quick and easy, but it, you know, will contribute that much. I think I agree with Tom. I mean, I haven't been around long enough, so I don't have a huge backstory of the last 9 years of conservation and what we've done. So,
Oh,
you know,
that's okay.
this is the only
That's
thing
all
that
right.
I see seems,
Yeah.
so,
And now you're going to have another baby?
yeah.
You need a double stroller.
No, we don't.
Double-
We just skipped over the stroller.
A double backpack?
Yeah, yeah.
One
You
in
gotta carry
front,
your own
one
weight.
behind? Okay, well, that's all right. Everybody's got to get out there and get some fresh air.
Right.
Okay, so could we, at least for the minutes, for the record, could we say that we will get this done before Thanksgiving? So Thanksgiving is a mere, like 2 weeks away. You think we can get
2
it done?
weeks. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you have your blurb written, right? You have something defining what sustainable CT is and how it's been applied to Old Lyme now, and then, you know.
Well,
read through-
I'm going to say how Old Lyme Conservation has adapted sustainable CT as a measure as a measure of any of priorities that we take on. Because there's going to be, in that report, there's going to be a separate submission from Sustainable Old Lyme.
We hope.
So Cheryl's going to write that.
Well, what
Okay,
specific,
so
what specifically do you want me to say to George?
Yeah, I think George is out of
Outcome-
this now, right?
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
I think you could tell them that we have to move on, and the calendar pages are flipping, and that we've committed to doing it, submitting it before Thanksgiving,
Okay.
and ask if that's okay, if he's okay with that.
Whatever I get back from George, I'll send to you in an email.
Okay, to me and to Tom and to Anthony.
yeah,
Yep.
but Maureen, pass around a draft of our inclusion, and we'll get it to the planning committee.
Well, yeah, but everybody should look at it.
Well, yeah,
Make sure you-
we'll
Send it
pass it
around.
around the group, for sure.
Okay, yep, yeah, I'll get that done. I'll get it to you this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want us to lose our spot, you know, I don't want us to lose our place in there.
But Sustainable Old Lyme is gonna have, they're submitting something for this. So we
Yeah.
just need to highlight, how it was brought in, and then they will define it better. This is Weldon.
Can I stick my tongue out at him?
Hey, bud. Say hi.
Yeah, hi.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's how it interacts that, and it puts us in contact with other groups, other commissions in town.
Right, and all these other committees and groups that have had involvement in this, are they gonna submit anything? I mean, that was part of I think, what was going on with the analogy of the wheel and the spokes of the wheel, was a lot of people were involved in this, but there wasn't, thorough communication. So, I mean, is this Sustainable CT gonna come up a dozen times in the conservation? But I mean, we could submit but if other people are writing about this, do we even need to say anything? If it's not really
I doubt that anybody else is going to write about it besides me and the Sustainable Committee.
all right, well, we'll send it around. We'll look
do
at it
that.
and give it to those guys and see what planning does
Okay.
with it.
All right, that's fine. So, we'll aim for that date. Whether we make it or not, we'll see, but we'll aim for that date.
That'd be fine.
So I
Shouldn't take long.
So, I wanted to go on to Rogers Lake Authority, okay, because they loaned us the mats at Haynes Park.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're spread and anchored, and the garden is weeded and trimmed. So that's thanks to George Ryan and to Gary, and
Nice.
me too. Yeah, it is nice. And what else? George, do you have anything else to say about Barrier Garden?
Do I have anything else to say about what?
The Barrier Gardens and all your hard work.
No, other than the way the mulch was spread was not my idea of how to do a good job.
Okay, well, next time we will put you in charge of mulch spreading.
That's okay
Gary
with
and
me.
Well, yeah, I mean, Linda Cloud's plan is to enlarge that garden and also to upgrade what's there with some new plants. So we may be back to spreading mulch again, but your name's at the top of the list. So I don't know about Gary, but as far as I was concerned, my big old goal was let's get this stuff spread. That's it. I didn't care about how well it got spread. So you can educate us next time.
I thought it looked good. I drove through there.
Well, it was a big deal to have the, that's an example of the collaboration. The town contributed the mulch. Rogers Lake Authority contributed the mats. You had 3 members of conservation there, and I'm straddling both of the committees, and I'm there too. So it's a very micro example of how that collaboration took place. And something good came out of it. So that's the type of thing to build on.
Yeah, I got rid of my rocks.
Yeah, that's true. George was able to clean up his yard from all the rocks. That's what's holding the blanket of benthic mats down. So we don't know who went in and pulled up all the mats that time I sent out an email, but somebody deliberately went, yanked all the mats out, threw them up on the lawn, threw around the rocks. We replaced it with a couple of signs, but it was disappointing to see somebody deliberately messing it up.
When
I
is
don't
the
know.
when is the lake going to be raised again?
It should be in the process right now. It takes a while, but was supposed to be, the dam was supposed to be closed again just in the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
So the answer is soon. Okay. What else? The events magazine, that's next. That's in fact, I talked about the sustainable CG, and that's another example of how that committee is going to put in a separate article. So I think it's okay. I don't think you can say too much about things like that. And Gary, going down to the bottom, Gary had an idea for a new project, but I'm not going to try to explain it. Actually, my reaction when he brought up the whole project that he would like to see us do was we should discuss it in terms of the whole sustainability part, not just do it, but collaborate. So we can talk about that next time.
Okay.
Okay. So for December, I'll be here, and I will barely squeak back into my seat in January. I guess we're done with outdoor meetings, so we'll just announce that it's a virtual meeting again, right?
Yeah, I've set that up with Michelle. The only the only space available in town hall is the great room, and the Republican Town Committee meets at 7:30 on Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of the month, the night that we do. So
We can do this. We can do this again. This
I
works.
mean, this works fine for me. There's only 4 of us here, so I don't know if it's a technical issue for others or what, but
No, I think it's
I think we've gotten better at it. It was pretty bad the first 1 or 2, but
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, I think this is fine. Lots of groups are meeting online, and we can do this. So I will barely be back by the time we start our meeting in January, but I'll be here in December and planning on January.
okay.
Okay.
On the
So
side,
December 1st is the next meeting.
December 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. And then January 5th.
And then January is what, 4th or 5th? 5th, I guess. January 5th.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
So
Looks
yeah,
fine with
we'll
me.
just do it virtually.
Yeah.
Works for me.
So I've been copied on emails from Steve Ross and the Harbor Commission for permit
Okay.
application stuff. I don't know if anybody else has seen these or through
Nope.
any other avenues, but the beach community stormwater improvements at the Old Lime Shores Beach Association. And then I think one for dredging. Trying to just see where it is in my email.
Gary, he's on 3 different committees, so he's got his fingers in about every pot going.
Yeah, right. So I just didn't know if any of this was, I'm seeing these emails. I'm not responding to them. I'm like the last person on the copy chain. So, I mean,
If I
it
get
all
one,
come in the last couple weeks. I didn't think anything of it was pressing to pass along.
well, anyone I've gotten from Gary, I've responded back to everybody. So if you got a message from him, you got a response out of me too.
It's all coming. Nothing's from Gary. It's all Steve Ross on Harbor
Okay.
Commission. That's
If
forwarding
Gary
them.
doesn't send it to me, I don't see it.
Okay. I'll just follow up. I didn't know if any of it was stuff, he was just an FYI or if it was any of it was our involvement. Stormwater, drainage updates, upgrades. So
Okay, I'll give George a call tomorrow. He usually goes for a walk about 9 o'clock. And then whatever I find out from him, I'll send you an email.
okay.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Are we done?
Yeah, I'm good.
So, Anthony, you want these virtual meetings because you can still change diapers on the table next to your computer.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Keeps you anchored here.
That's right. My job went virtual too. I mean, this is the way of the way now,
Yeah.
It is.
So
This is the new
adapted.
normal.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Normal.
finished?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I was
Thank
just
you,
asking,
everybody.
that's all.
You gotta get back to Fox News.
How'd you guess?
Okay.
I'll find out whether we got a democracy or a socialist society.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'll see you on the flip side.
No, thank you. I spent too much time in the military defending this country to have somebody like Biden screw it up.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
that's your opinion, man.
good job of you.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, guys.
Okay, folks.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Yeah. No. 27 minutes. That wasn't so bad.